Welcome back to SN Studios, your go-to channel for the latest crime news and updates. Today we're diving into a high-profile case that shook the streets of Luton and beyond. We're talking about the downfall of a notorious drug dealer whose flashy lifestyle and criminal operations finally caught up with him. Let's get into the details. Meet Mansoor Kiani, a 28-year-old from Luton who was living the high life. Or so he thought. Kiani wasn't shy about flaunting his wealth, pouring champagne over Rolex watches at an exclusive club in Knightsbridge, and cruising around in a Ferrari. But what was behind all this luxury? A dark world of drug dealing, fueled by heroin and cocaine. Mansoor Kiani's empire started to crumble when he was arrested in November 2020, following the UK's largest ever law enforcement operation, Operation Costello. Led by Bedfordshire Police, the operation began in the spring of 2020 and specifically targeted major players like Mansoor Kiani. Mansoor Kiani tried to keep his criminal activities under wraps, using an encrypted communication system called EncroChat, a platform used almost exclusively by criminals to coordinate their illegal activities. But what he didn't know was that the police had cracked the system wide open. After a 3-day trial at Luton Crown Court, Mansoor Kiani was found guilty of conspiracy to supply Class A drugs. The evidence was overwhelming. Videos of him flaunting his wealth, messages coordinating drug deals, and even specific exchanges where he renewed his subscription to the EncroChat platform. Investigators meticulously linked Mansoor Kiani to his EncroChat handle, matching the location of his encrypted device with his regular phone as it connected to various mobile phone masts. This was the nail in the coffin, proving without a doubt that Mansoor Kiani was behind the operation. Operation Costello is dedicated to taking down major drug dealers like Mansoor Kiani, and this case is a prime example of their success. With a 15-year and 6-month sentence, Kiani will be spending the next decade and a half behind bars. In our second story, we're covering a major breakthrough in an international operation that took down a cocaine dealer with ties to firearms. Naqash Ali, a 33-year-old from Stirling Road, Luton, is now behind bars after pleading guilty to multiple serious charges. Ali's downfall began when Bedfordshire Police, as part of an international operation, accessed encrypted communications that revealed his deep involvement in drug and firearms trafficking. Naqash Ali was caught up in an international operation that targeted criminals using encrypted devices to coordinate drug deals and launder money. These encrypted communications were made through EncroChat, a supposedly unbreakable mobile messaging network, used by around 60,000 people worldwide, 10,000 of them in the UK alone. But in 2020, French and Dutch police cracked the system, sharing their findings with law enforcement agencies around the world. Ali was first arrested in May 2020 in a vehicle linked to a drug conspiracy. Although 3 phones were recovered during this arrest, with no immediate evidence, he was released without charge. But this wasn't the end of the road for Ali. Further investigations led officers back to one of the phones, where they discovered Ali's encrypted communications. These messages revealed his extensive involvement in the purchase and sale of multiple kilos of cocaine. In one message, Ali arranged to buy 2 kilograms of cocaine, promising to pay £100,000 the following week. In another, he bragged about having a deal line selling cocaine. But it wasn't just drugs. Ali was also conspiring to possess a firearm, making him a particularly dangerous figure. These revelations led to his rearrest in 2023, and he ultimately pleaded guilty to 2 counts of conspiracy to supply cocaine and 1 count of conspiring to possess a firearm. At Luton Crown Court, Ali was sentenced to 15 years for the drug offences and 2 years for the firearms offence. The sentences will run concurrently, meaning Ali will spend a significant amount of time behind bars, reflecting the seriousness of his crimes. Luton. In the third story, we have a shocking case involving a drug-dealing gang from Luton that ran a county lines operation, bringing crack cocaine and heroin into Hemel Hempstead. This network, known as the Ghost Line, has finally been shut down, and the criminals behind it are now facing justice. Let's break down the details. A group of drug dealers from Luton has been sentenced to over 30 years in prison, collectively after running a notorious county lines drug network known as the Ghost Line. This operation flooded the streets of Hemel Hempstead with crack cocaine and heroin from January 2021 to June 2023, exploiting vulnerable people along the way. Hertfordshire Constabulary's investigation revealed that the gang had taken over several homes in Hemel Hempstead, known as cuckooed addresses, belonging to vulnerable individuals. They also exploited two 15-year-old boys, who have since been safeguarded by authorities. This case was cracked by Hertfordshire Constabulary's Operation Mantis team, which focuses on dismantling county lines drug networks. Detective Constable David Purvis, who was involved in the operation, stated that shutting down the Ghost Line will have a significant impact on drug use and associated crime in the region. He emphasized that the exploitation of vulnerable young people is one of the most tragic aspects of these organized drug gangs. The members of this gang appeared at Luton Crown Court in late January and early February 2024 for sentencing. Here's a breakdown of the sentences handed down. Amir Hussain, 25, from Alexandra Avenue, Luton, was sentenced to 12 years for conspiracy to supply Class A drugs. Bilal Ahmed, 22, from Beresford Road, Luton, received 4 years for the same charge. Nasser Shabir, 26, from Luton, was sentenced to 6 years and 9 months. Abid Khan, 21, from Letchworth Road, Luton, received 2 years. Oman Sajid, 21, from Priestley's, Luton, was sentenced to 2 years and 6 months for being concerned in the supply of Class A drugs. Graham Watkins, 55, from Trent Road, Luton, received a 2-year suspended sentence for being concerned in the supply of Class A drugs. With these criminals behind bars, the disruption of the Ghost Line is expected to lead to a significant reduction in drug-related crime in Hemel Hempstead. In our final story of today's video, we bring you the downfall of 2 Luton drug dealers who were at the top of their game, supplying cocaine and heroin on a wholesale level. Let's dive into the details. 2 men from Luton have been sentenced to lengthy prison terms after running a drug-dealing operation that supplied cocaine and heroin on a large scale. Farouk Altaf, aged 33, and Zubayd Ashraf, aged 32, were both sentenced in April 2024 at Huntingdon Crown Court, following a detailed investigation by the Eastern Region Special Operations Unit. Farouk Altaf was arrested in January 2024 after a lengthy investigation led to police stopping his vehicle. Inside, officers found a cardboard box containing approximately 5 kilograms of Class A drugs. A further search of his home uncovered $2,000 in cash, adding to the evidence against him. Later that same day, police arrested Zubayd Ashraf, the mastermind behind this operation, after he was observed handing over drugs to Altaf. A search of Zubayd Ashraf's home revealed £75,000 in cash and a Rolex watch stashed in a paper bag, clear indicators of the profits he was making from the illegal trade. At their sentencing, the court heard how Zubayd Ashraf and Farouk Altaf were operating at the top end of the drug supply chain, overseeing deals worth thousands of pounds. Ashraf was sentenced to 8 years and 8 months in prison for supplying cocaine and heroin, plus possession of criminal property. Altaf received 5 years and 7 months for possession, with intent to supply both cocaine and heroin. Detective Inspector Dave Scaratz from URSO emphasized the broader impact of their crimes, stating that the supply of Class A drugs is closely linked to various other crime types, all of which have serious consequences for local communities. Shutting down operations like these is vital for keeping our streets safer. If you appreciate our coverage and want to stay informed about more crime stories, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to SN Studios. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.